Hey, Natasha-san! Let's go! Engage in the house. Let's go engage.
Com a mãozinha, tac, tac, tac.
Tem que voltar pra frente, não tem mais nada aqui.
Boa, né?
Aí ele faz isso aqui, faz isso aqui.
Nice! Já sabe fazer já a manobra de carro. Engage in the house. Tô vendo aqui ele fazendo.
Nice, Arman. You should kick all the time. Because your wrestling and jiu-jitsu is so good that if anybody tries to grab your kick, Arman, and take you down, they are taking themselves down. It's bad for them. One up, one down. Hey, good. Show it to him. Hey.
Mauricio Ruffy knows exactly what is waiting for him when he steps into the octagon against Arman Tsarukyan. This is not just another fight for the rising lightweight contender. Ruffy is facing one of the division's most dangerous wrestlers, a fighter who can turn one mistake into 5 minutes of control. With a title shot waiting for the winner, Ruffy has every reason to take this camp more seriously than ever. And judging by the work he has already started putting in, he knows that beating Arman will require much more than his dangerous striking. Michael Bisping believes Arman Tsarukyan will enter his UFC 331 bout against Benoit Saint-Denis, not Mauricio Ruffy, as the favorite. Bisping acknowledges Ruffy's recent form, but notes Tsarukyan's effective striking, citing his knockouts of Michael Chandler and Rafael Fiziev. However, he also recalls that Benoit Saint-Denis submitted Ruffy via rear naked choke after taking him down. Given this, Bisping thinks Tsarukyan's superior wrestling will be the decisive factor.
Co-main event, Arman Tsarukyan is finally returning. Okay, he's taking on Mauricio Ruffy, right? Arman Tsarukyan, we last saw him, what was it? October, November, taking on Dan Hooker, made short work of him, but since then, he's been absent. It's been almost a bloody year. Yes, he's the master of the side quest. Yeah, he's out there wrestling at RAF, he's doing all kinds of shit.
Tsarukyan running Faber off the mat.
He's staying busy. He's certainly staying in the public eye with the help of Nina Drama, flying all over the world in his private jet, doing podcasts, just doing appearances, enjoying life, eating caviar, right? Just living it up, the son of a billionaire. Why wouldn't you do that, right? And he's taking on Mauricio Ruffy. Now, Mauricio Ruffy is a very dangerous guy. We saw him at the White House. He absolutely smoked Michael Chandler. And that was one-way traffic all day long. Against Rafael Fiziev at the start of the year. The man's been busy. This is the third fight of the year, by the way. Against Fiziev, second round, knocked him out. I think it was a straight right hand, right? Beautiful shot, took him out. But before that, it was Paris. Benoit Saint-Denis. And Benoit Saint-Denis absolutely ragdolled him before getting a submission due to face crank in the second round, right? And if Benoit Saint-Denis can ragdoll Mauricio Ruffy all around the place, then you better bet your bottom dollar that Arman Tsarukyan can.
Michael Bisping predicts Arman Tsarukyan will use his grappling skills to dominate and secure another impressive win. Bisping acknowledges Ruffy's knockout power and striking ability as a significant threat, noting that one well-placed strike could change the outcome instantly. However, Bisping believes Tsarukyan's grappling is in a different class, allowing him to neutralize Ruffy's threats and take control of the fight.
A bumpy ride for Arman Tsarukyan. We know back in the day, he punched a fan on the way to the octagon. That didn't go down too well. Then he gets a title shot, and he pulls out at the last minute, and Moicano steps in. Last time out, headbutts Dan Hooker, right? So he hasn't been getting a title shot, right? With a win over Mauricio Ruffy, he gets a title shot 100%. And the man who he would face would be Justin Gaethje, because Ali Abdelaziz just came out recently and said Justin is still going to fight. He's going to continue, but he wants only huge fights.
2027, we'll see Justin Gaethje fight.
He's not going to fight for the rest of the year. He's already fought twice this year, wants to take a little break. The man deserves it. Take some time off, rest up all those bumps and bruises, right? But if Arman Tsarukyan beats Mauricio Ruffy, and I'll say it early, right? He probably will. He'll probably just do what Benoit Saint-Denis did. Mauricio Ruffy, he's awesome to watch. I mean, look at that spinning wheel kick over Bobby Green, right? It was phenomenal, but more than likely, he's going to get taken down. Arman Tsarukyan, especially in Los Angeles, right, with a massive Armenian community, right, he's going to have a lot of support in the building. That's why he's on the card. That's why he was fighting Islam Makhachev there, right? He's probably going to ragdoll him, but he's going to have to make some noise on the microphone, because Ali said for Justin Gaethje, it's only going to be a big...
Luke Thomas expressed dissatisfaction with the Tsarukyan versus Rakhmonov's opponent, not Ruffy, fight, but acknowledged it had its rationale. The UFC needed to keep Arman Tsarukyan active, and considering Rakhmonov's first bout was a decision loss to Benoit Saint-Denis, Tsarukyan would likely be an even tougher opponent for him.
Well, the co-main event or the overall card?
The co-main event.
Co-main. I don't think it's anybody's first choice, but it's not exactly bad. It's strange. It's strange because obviously the way I had heard it was going, and I'm sure this was reported elsewhere. I don't think I'm breaking any news here, but I think that they wanted to do the rematch between Arman and Charles. What I was hearing was not even necessarily for the BMF title, actually. That may have not been on the line, although who knows what they would have agreed to in the end. But they went a different direction. I think Charles, obviously losing his teammate, may have played a factor there, or maybe they just decided to go a different way. But they go this way, and with Ruffy. And I mean, Ruffy got run over by BSD, and it's like if BSD is running you over, who's not a bad fighter, but I don't think he's Arman.
While he admitted the matchup carries some risk, especially if Ruffy is overwhelmed, he believes Arman is in a different position now than other overlooked contenders. If Tsarukyan beats Ruffy convincingly, Thomas expects the UFC will finally give him the lightweight title opportunity he has been waiting for.
So there's a question of like, is this too much too soon for Ruffy relative to how bad he was against BSD? I understand that. On the other hand, like, they got to do something with Arman, and if the Charles fight wasn't available for one reason or another, they had to give him somebody. They've reportedly told him, according to Ariel Helwani, that if he wins this, he'll get a title shot, which I think is the right call. Ruffy's building up some momentum, and it's worthy of saying as much. I mean, he was on that White House card for a reason. I think people really like the way that he fights. So, like, if Arman wins, he gets a title shot, which I think is important for the division. And if Ruffy wins, I mean, obviously it depends how he wins, but if he's able to resist the takedowns enough where you can be like, wow, he's really moved on from the BSD fight, and he wins, this is obviously putting him in title contention as well. So it's not the first choice, but I don't think it's a terrible choice, although I recognize there are some limits to it.
He's still not going to be getting a title shot. There's still 1,000 people ahead of him who will probably get a title shot. So it's one of those situations where you're almost burying a potential future star in Ruffy, maybe for no reason. I don't know. Like, do you think that this thing has a chance of backfiring here?
It has a chance, yes. I mean, there are a couple ways. Well, one, if Arman just looks terrible and now, everything that's been building for him falls apart, I don't think that's good for the division. I don't think, obviously.
Mike Heck made it quite apparent that he was shocked at how Mauricio Ruffy ended up as the opponent of Arman Tsarukyan as compared to Charles Oliveira. Although surprised by the booking, there were no doubts in his mind whatsoever regarding the winner. He would go with Arman Tsarukyan against any fighter in the lightweight category. According to Mike, Arman would outmatch Ruffy completely. He also added that a victory should guarantee Arman the next lightweight title shot.
I'd say like a little surprised, like I was a little thrown off by it, because mostly the matchmaking is so puzzling to me, because I'm just gonna put this out there. Anybody who's followed my coverage knows that I would pick Arman Tsarukyan to beat literally anybody he ever fights.
Of course.
He's been my dude from Jump Street. He is gonna absolutely run roughshod over poor Mauricio Ruffy. Like, this fight is not even going to be competitive for a moment. Arman's just gonna run his ass over. So, like, to me, I'm just like, okay, Arman pretty much, unless he slips on a banana peel and gets caught, he is going to fight for the lightweight title next. And if he doesn't, then I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. The other part was like, oh, everyone was reporting it was Charles Oliveira. And from what I understand, Charles was the name that was kind of on the list, but the reports that were out there were saying, like, this is signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a done deal. I'm here to tell you.
Peck explained that despite widespread reports, the Oliveira fight was never completely finalized, and that Ruffy became the replacement after circumstances changed. While he believed the matchup heavily favored Tsarukyan, he also saw it as a great opportunity for Ruffy. Heck said Ruffy had little to lose, because an upset win would immediately launch him into title contention, while even a loss would not hurt his long-term standing thanks to his exciting fighting style.
At least from the conversations I had, on the table being discussed, but basically the responses I was getting in regards to this fight were TBD, TBD. And then they went with Ruffy, and it's just like, I was like, oh, this is unexpected. And the response I got was like, well, people like to put the cart before the horse. But it seems like Charles was the direction they were going. It was never a done deal. And I assume, just based on the reports you've seen, which I think we can kind of put two and two together, the unfortunate news of the passing of Alan Nascimento this week is probably a catalyst, I would say is fair, as to why Charles Oliveira is not competing on this card. If he ever was going to compete on this card, now that was just off the table. So yeah, this one kind of threw me for a loop. I thought you could go a number of different directions with this. Could have done Patty. That would have made a lot of sense. Patty,
do you reckon he'd be ready in time?
I mean, for an opportunity to fight in LA on, what, 6 weeks notice against the #1 contender?
Travis Herrick believes Arman Tsarukyan has a major stylistic advantage over Mauricio Ruffy, and expects him to control the fight with his wrestling. Although he acknowledges Ruffy's height, reach, power, striking ability, and recent knockout wins could give him a chance to catch Arman early, Herrick thinks Ruffy's biggest weakness is exactly where Arman is strongest. He points to Ruffy's previous loss to Benoit Saint-Denis, where he was out-wrestled, and argues that Arman is an even better wrestler. Because of that, Herrick predicts Arman will secure the takedowns and dominate Ruffy on the ground.
I will tell you this, and everyone's picking Arman. I will say that Ruffy is much more fresh, as he's already had 2 great KO wins this year, not taken any damage. Meanwhile, Arman hasn't fought since November last year, and before that had a huge layoff before that. So Ruffy's going to be way fresher, way less rusty, and ready to go off the start. He's going to have a reach and height advantage, a 4-inch height advantage, a 3-inch reach advantage, a big power and striking advantage on the feet. So he could come in here fresh and go for an early KO, and it is possible that he gets that done. And that would be his best path to victory, and it's a very real one. But if I'm being honest with you guys, I think that Arman wins this one, and I think it's going to be rather easy. We've already seen BSD give Ruffy problems, take him down, and get the win on the ground over him there. Arman Tsarukyan is a better wrestler than BSD. He's going to get this one done just as easy fashion, if not easier. Unless, of course, he could get clipped and fluked on the feet. But I really think Arman is going to get his takedowns rather easily. He's going to get one at some point in the first round, second round. And I honestly think within the first 2 rounds, he's either going to get a submission or a ground and pound TKO win over Ruffy.
Herrick ultimately predicts that Arman will win by stoppage within the first 2 rounds, either through a submission or ground and pound. He admits Ruffy has a legitimate path to victory if he can use his reach and power to land an early knockout, but he does not expect Ruffy to have the wrestling or grappling needed to survive a 5-round fight. In Herrick's view, Arman should get the win relatively easily, putting himself directly in line for the next lightweight title shot. Bedtime MMA believes Arman Tsarukyan has a major advantage over Mauricio Ruffy because of the grappling matchup. While he gives Ruffy a real chance of scoring an early knockout with his dangerous striking, he thinks Ruffy's previous struggles against Benoit Saint-Denis are a major warning sign. In his view, Ruffy had moments where he could have stayed on top and used ground and pound, but instead chose to return to the feet. Against someone like Arman, that could be a serious problem. Ultimately, Bedtime MMA predicts that Arman will get the takedowns and dominate Ruffy once the fight hits the ground. He expects Arman to use elbows and ground and pound to wear Ruffy down, with a submission also possible. He does not expect the fight to reach the judges and believes Arman will finish Ruffy inside the distance. With time running out before the bout, Mauricio Ruffy understands that there will be no room for error when he faces Arman Tsarukyan. He may possess superior striking, the speed, the reach, and the power, but none of it will matter if Tsarukyan lands his hands on him and takes him down. This is why this camp could turn out to be the most important period in the career of Ruffy. Everything that he does in the training camp will prepare him for the perfect storm that Arman will unleash. Ruffy is not one to shy away from danger, and now is his moment to shine. If he beats Arman in the upcoming fight, he will stand just a step away from his dream of fighting for the UFC lightweight championship. All the training that Ruffy has done will now need to be translated into action. Tsarukyan will bring relentless pressure and top-notch wrestling skills, while Ruffy will look to make the most of his time standing upright.